Bryan Fischer is now going to talk about how a majority of Americans actually agree with Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty and his controversial comments.
I thought one of the takeaways from that whole episode is that Phil Robertson and the American people like you and me that agree with him, that we are the mainstream. It's the gay activists, it's the gay lobby. They're the ones that are on the fringe, and A&E was forced to recognize that. Trust me, if they did not recognize that Phil Robertson and the values of the Robertson clan, if they did not believe, if they weren't convinced that the values that they were expressing resonated with the vast majority of the American people, they would have yanked that show off the air.
Yeah.
The reason that show's popular, the reason it's a moneymaker is because those guys represent the values that you and I and the great majority of Americans share.
Actually, nobody talks about politics on the show, or if they do, A&E cuts it out because they know this isn't going to fly over very well. Now, also what he's saying, we could prove it's not correct. We could prove it's not correct. I mean, look at the recent polls that have been done on gay marriage, whether you go to Pew or Gallup or any of them. They've all come around now with about the same number. 58% of the American people, a tremendous majority, are in favor of gay marriage. You're to tell me that those people are also going to agree that gays are like terrorists and like murderers, and they, quote, invent ways of doing evil. No, obviously not. So he doesn't represent people's beliefs. And by the way, the reason why they're on the air is advertiser dollars. Now, when advertisers pull the plug on you, that's when you're done. I'm not saying they don't have support. Of course they have support. Red America loves these guys. They can't get enough of these guys. And apparently the advertisers decided that we're still going to get great ratings, and they might be politically incorrect, and they might be douchebags, but just keep them on the air because they have their niche market, and, hey, we're willing to pay you. The advertisers were willing to pay A&E. So, look, I have no problem. I said from the beginning I don't think they should get fired for something they said, but I'm consistent on that. I don't think Martin Bashir should have got fired for what he said. Alec Baldwin I don't think should have ever been hired in the first place, but you shouldn't have fired him based on what he said. Bill Maher in 2001 shouldn't have been fired for politically incorrect for what he said. I'm tired of this. You made me feel uncomfortable, so you have to go away. Fuck that, right? But, Brian, they don't agree with him. America does not agree with him. America wants legal gay marriage, and they realize gay people are people. They're just normal. I mean, what, you're telling me that somebody who watches Ellen is going to want to grab a pitchfork and a flamethrower, a pitchfork and a torch and go to town? I mean, come on, man. It's just the world as Bryan Fischer sees it is not the real world.